I want you to get together.
Hello, everyone. This episode is going to veer away from ancient history, and I'm going to look at something a little bit more modern. This is going to be a strange one, guys, so buckle up. But I noticed maybe about a year ago that these plushies, these teddies, were appearing everywhere in the windows of thrift shops, junk shops, and in the middle of high streets being sold by questionable people just selling random crap and junk, umbrellas, teddies, light things, toys, things aimed at children. And I could just see this teddy everywhere. And every time I looked at it, I just couldn't help but think to myself, what on earth is that and why is it being marketed to children? Um, Now, I'm not ignorant of the gaming world. I was very well aware of this thing. I just was surprised to see it being marketed to children in such a way through the form of a plush toy. So what I'm talking about here is a character from a video game called Poppy Playtime. So I'll read the Wikipedia here so you get a good idea of what we're talking about. So Poppy Playtime is an episodic horror game developed and published by American indie developer Mob Entertainment. So let's stop there and quickly look at Mob Entertainment's website. They are a small group of indie developers who have created this video game series called Poppy Playtime. This seems to be their thing. This is what they're doing. And it is marketed as a horror game. It's not for children. But one thing I did notice, just as a brief side note, is their logo. Now, if we go to the bottom of the screen, we get a bigger image of it. But it appears to be a Hatman type entity. An entity we've discussed at length on this channel in relation to this clown theory. Let's call it the ringmaster of the circus, just to quickly summarise. But this Hatman entity has one eye, and the one-eyed symbolism is an Illuminati symbol. It's a Freemason symbol. It also represents the Antichrist. Yeah, and it's a ghost-like figure as well here, with or a shadowy figure. It's the shadow of somebody with a hat, with one eye. So already something weird and satanic is going on here. And also the company is called Mob Entertainment. Now, there was a movement called King Mob, and it was a radical group based in London during the late 60s, early 70s. It was a cultural mutation of the Situationists and the anarchist group UAW. It sought to emphasise the cultural anarchy and disorder being ignored in Britain, and the ultimate aim of promoting proletarian revolution. So it's a communist anarchist group called King Mob, and this thing seems to have named itself after the idea of a mob. Also, obviously, a mob is also a large group of people who usually go around destroying things. And obviously, the idea of mob mentality is it's very easy to get swept up in that kind of thing once you're a member of a group. So I feel like this is also maybe a slight link to the demons on the other realm being legion. They are one group and they act as one, but it's a group of many. So there you go, something just to quickly bear in mind, just a very brief, quick overview of the logo for the people who created this game. Pure speculation on my part, but the symbols do appear to be there. So continuing here, the player takes on the role of a former employee of a toy making company called Playtime Co. He revisits the abandoned toy factory 10 years after the staff's disappearance. The player investigates through the first-person perspective and solve puzzles, requiring a gadget named the Grab Pack to progress while avoiding various enemies. So one of the enemies is this Huggy Wuggy. Huggy Wuggy is a giant, an 18-foot tall, blue-haired giant, which chases the person around the factory and tries to eat them and kill them, okay? I believe it's the main enemy of Chapter 1, called A Tight Squeeze. I think he intends to hug people to death. The player is introduced to Huggy Wuggy, who is on display in the centre of a room. While I'm trying to unlock one of the doors in the lobby, the power suddenly cuts, forcing them to restore power to the power room. After heading back to the lobby, they discover that the statue of Huggy Wuggy has disappeared from the display. It turns out this thing is now hunting you, and yeah, it's a terrifying jump scare type game, you know, and this thing is something horrible that chases after you. But then there's this section here on that about the controversy behind this game. Now this is interesting. This is where it gets really strange. So I was looking around and I already found a couple of articles in regards to this Huggy Wuggy character, which we see in shows everywhere. You know, in the streets. Here's another example of it being sold in just randomly in the streets at random thrift shop stores. But there was this article made around 2022 in Britain, and it's about children being affected by this. Huggy Wuggy. What is the viral YouTube and TikTok video game? And police warning over teddy bear song explained. So this article just reminds me of this typical, you know, the older generation not really understanding how things work now, you know, and what exactly this thing is. I mean, I understand it's just a character from a video game that, you know, has been highlighted on other platforms and became popular with children. So Huggy Wuggy. Let's just read this. I found it very interesting. So it's a razor-toothed blue teddy known as Huggy Wuggy. It sings about hugging and killing in videos which have gone viral among children. Police are now warning parents across the UK to act after children as young as 5 who have viewed the video, which invites viewers to take their last breath. So it's saying here that the scary teddy sings horrifying songs throughout as he stalks the main character through a toy factory. And it says, due to the innocent name of some of these videos, it slipped through YouTube and TikTok's algorithm, meaning young children are viewing clips. There have already been some reports that children are recreating the game on the school playground by acting out the character's actions or whispering nasty things in another child's ear. And here's a picture of this thing from the game. A line in one of Huggy Wuggy's songs reads, "My teeth sharp and ready, in my grasp, yeah, they're deadly." Another song suggests its viewers lean in for a spine-breaking embrace, and another one is, "I could hug you here forever till you take your last breath together." So it says some creepy things about murdering you, and you know, children are watching videos about this, and people are kind of masking it behind an innocent-sounding name, you know, Huggy Wuggy. So mum of 2, Rhea Fern, said she thought first the bear was harmless due to the name. I was asking him questions about whether he was a goodie, and he was adamant, no, he's a baddie and he kills people, the 35-year-old mum from Etwall told the Daily Mail. That was really contradictory for me, because I thought that can't be right. He's called Huggy Wuggy. Wow, ignorance truly abounds with some people, doesn't it? He said children at school had been talking about it and one of his friends has been watching it. He told me Huggy Wuggy kills everyone he meets and he's not nice. He's a baddie and he's very mean. I believe it's accessible on YouTube, and it's really frightening that this Huggy Wuggy has snuck under my radar as a parent and infiltrated my child's mind without me even being aware. It's really frightening, as lots of parents will be oblivious to this level of violence our children are being exposed to. Huggy Wuggy video raised alarm bells after one child has been seen acting out the actions of the razor-toothed bear in a playground in Dorset. The spokesperson for Dorset Police said the blue bear-like character has long arms with rows of razor-sharp teeth. They added, set in an abandoned toy factory, Huggy is a villain in the game who stalks the players from vents and unreachable places. Videos of the game are available to watch on YouTube, and other clips dedicated to Huggy in songs. The cyber protection officer for Dorset Police said, there are videos people have made, songs people have made, and it's popping up all over YouTube and TikTok using this quite graphic imagery of this bear-like character with razor-sharp teeth. He said the videos are based around jump scares and things you certainly wouldn't want children exposed to. So it's saying here, you know, it's on platforms such as YouTube, Roblox, and it even contains it. And it's unfiltered due to there being no age rating. If you were to use even YouTube Kids, for example, it may slip through because there's nothing obviously sinister about the name of the video. So it all comes down to the parents paying attention to what the kids are looking at. Then it ends with this interesting statement here. The horrific trend is now said to be an online equivalent of the killer clown craze from 2016. So we've already got our first link there to the killer clown craze of 2016, the very thing that sparked my inspiration for discovering this Nephilim looking like clowns theory. So maybe I consider that a personal nod that I was going in the right direction with this. But just the aesthetics alone of Huggy Wuggy, I mean, if we just look at this thing, it's got all the features we're talking about to describe Nephilim. First of all, it's a giant. It's 18 foot tall, it's described as. It has a big clown-like, wide, toothy grin and big bulging eyes. Its hair is styled in a way that makes it look like it has two horns, not dissimilar from a jester as well. And it acts in quite a goofy, playful manner. It's aimed at children, not unlike a clown. It fits the aesthetics perfectly. And just looking at this thing, you know, I mean, is this image of Huggy Wuggy here, is this much different, let's say, from this depiction of the Sri Lankan masks here? It's not far removed. So one of my recent videos about this culture, the Sri Lankan culture and their demon masks, you know, they're literally representing what they think the demons look like. And even with the big black bulging eyes here and the big wide toothy razor sharp grin with the red lips and the blue hair and fur, or feathers in this case, is synonymous with Huggy Wuggy here. It's a similar depiction. I mean, let's look at another example. So we have Kali, a wide-mouthed, blood-eating, tongue-sticking-out, blue-skinned god of chaos and death, you know, a similar culture. And obviously the Gorgon has the big wide smile as well, which is obviously Medusa. And we're just seeing, the same archetypical themes manifest here in a modern video game. Now, I don't want to say that Mob here knows that they are representing what could be considered a quintessential Nephilim type character in the video games. I think they've probably been inspired by culture at large to create this monster. I believe it may be more of a spiritual manifestation of coming into the physical through the minds and works of creatives. This thing was created and it got wildly popular. I believe it probably got incredibly wildly popular and picked up and put all over the place by those in the spiritual realm who saw that somebody has created something that looks just like them, so they have made it their agenda to promote it everywhere and make sure it gets in the hands of children. That's my theory. So if you go to the controversy here, there's this interesting paragraph at the end. Okay, so the Dorset Police and Lafayette County Sheriff Department both released a statement to parents regarding the character on March 22nd, 2022 and April 7th. So that I've just read you one of those articles about that. They're claiming due to the character's name, various videos were not being blocked by firewalls and filtered by parental filters on various platforms, including TikTok and YouTube Kids. The former video claimed that various schools in the United Kingdom reported children recreating a game where one child hugs another and then whispers sinister things into the recipient's ear. It was also reported that a child had attempted to jump out of a window to mimic the character, and that Luxembourg Casco School District had received complaints from students claiming they could not sleep due to the character. Similarly, a primary school in Adelaide also warned parents about the game, specifically adaptations of it and violent songs featuring the character. A fact-checking website, Snopes, confirmed that while there had been reports from parents within the United Kingdom, the police had incorrectly claimed that the character sang songs, despite said songs being fan-made and not appearing in the game. Snopes had also said that inappropriate videos involving the character were not available for youngsters on TikTok and YouTube Kids. There's spokespersons for each platform confirming so. Bellinger also commented on the situation, calling the warnings completely untrue or grossly exaggerated. Now, this is, in my opinion, this little thing here about Snopes basically saying, no, it's a load of bollocks. I think they are full of it. I've seen it myself, and I have looked at TikTok, and they are everywhere. They were coming up in my own bloody feed constantly. And honestly, some of these videos people are making relating to Huggy Wuggy are so disturbing and clearly aimed at children. Of a person dressing like a clown Huggy Wuggy hybrid. Yeah, this person clearly has a mentally stable disposition. What would possess somebody to want to mix the clown with Huggy Wuggy? Well, I think we know. We know in our series why someone would want to do this to themselves. But this is nothing. This is just scratching the surface. I can't show you the videos. All I would say is if you've got the app, just type in Huggy Wuggy and watch the videos people have made relating to this. There's one girl who looks like a clown, constantly dresses in clown makeup and multicolored clothing, and she is making all sorts of videos relating to this Huggy Wuggy plush character where she tears it open, pours things inside of it, stitches it back up, pretends it's pregnant, pretends it's having some kind of sexual weird stuff going on with the female equivalent, Kissy Missy. And then we have this YouTube channel here who often dresses like a clown, making very disturbing videos relating to this and music relating to this as well. It seems like there's people online getting lots of views on shorts, let's say, on YouTube and on TikTok shorts, where they use this Huggy Wuggy as a character involved in very questionable things. Very things you do not want your children to be seeing, but they have been created and directed in a way where they are trying to get it to your children. They've designed it in a way for children to watch, and it's disturbing. It's so disturbing, honestly. Just look into it. So this last paragraph here, it says, in September 2022, El Observador reported that 7 children in a school in Uruguay played a game called Poppy Playtime that instructed them to commit self-harm using pencil sharpeners, with 2 being hospitalized as a result. The president of the Institute of Children and Adolescents in Uruguay, Pablo Abdala, stated that the incident confirms that technological development entails a very severe risk. So children have hurt themselves because of this character in this video game. And you just Google Huggy Wuggy plushie, and they're everywhere. And they seem to have, look at this one, ha ha ha, happy family all laughing along at Christmas time, giving their child this monster as a toy, as it's been photoshopped in here. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. There's another image here of a girl, if I can find it, hugging the teddy, as though it's just a lovely toy for her to have in her life. Here's a store on eBay trying to sell birthday cards with this image on, and it's even advertising that it's for a 9-year-old, and I don't think 9-year-olds should have anything to do with imagery like this. And then also, they're acting as though these things are for children, as though this is something they would love and should have around and cuddle and sleep with. And there is, in no way does this have a positive mental effect on the minds of children, and it's sickening that this is even being marketed to children by bad actors outside of the original creators, it seems. It's being co-opted by many people online in some weird culture. I mean, I've seen some videos being produced on TikTok by this couple who have no right or reason to be anywhere near children, by the way they act and dress and the things they do in those videos. It's incredibly disturbing, but the thing is, they're getting thousands of views and people supporting them in the comments as well, and it makes me wonder, what is this, some kind of weird creepy subculture, perhaps akin to something involving the abuse of children? I don't know, but it won't surprise me if it all comes out that there is something going on there that's incredibly dodgy. You know, and just again looking at the aesthetics of Huggy Wuggy here, this furry, tall monster with cannibalistic tendencies and a wide, toothy grin, clown-like features. I'm kind of remembering something I've heard about the wild men of Europe, who were these giant, hairy creatures, you know, that terrorized much of mankind, which are venerated today in folk traditional rituals by dressing up like this, let's say, you know, or in garb like this to represent these tall, pale-skinned, hairy creatures, you know, that were monsters and were hunted and killed as they hunted and killed humans. Here they are in tapestry artwork, depicted as a family of them, you know. Here's another tapestry here, which is quite famous, of the wild men of Europe attacking the people of the Moors, you know, and they have this psychedelic coloured pattern all over the skin, which represents the hair that they had, the black and white fur of some kind, or the red and white fur for the females. So they clearly had a lot of colours going on with their fur. They were hunted and killed as a menace of some kind, you know, and they're still venerated today as ancestor spirits in folk traditions in Europe, where people dress up like wild men in these furry costumes and make themselves look tall with sharp razor teeth as well on many occasions, like this one here. Truly a satanic visage. But I think, again, what we're seeing here echo through from the spiritual realm into the physical is a representation of the same entities, and it's really marketed its way into the arms and eyesight of children. Really disturbing stuff. So I'm bringing this one into the fold for the Nephilim Look Like Clown series because I think it needs to be understood that, you know, ancient cultures all around the world, these folk traditions have their own version of recreating the spirits and venerating them or bringing them into their life one way or the other, like the Sri Lankan masks here. And in the West, we're not any different. But when we do it, we don't realize that that's what we're doing. We're truly in a shroud of ignorance, you know. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for listening. If you want to support me, the links are down below for my GoFundMe for the book project and also for my Patreon. But as always, guys, thanks for listening and God bless.
I want you to get together